stocks starting the year off retreating from session highs. The Nasdaq is off of today's session. As you can see right now, the Nasdaq is down by 11 points. But remember, it was a great 2025. Now, investors stressed about overextended valuations last year. But how much of this bubble talk do you think will bleed into this year? That's the question. Let's bring in Constellation Research founder Ray Wang. It's great to see you, Ray. So, it's interesting with this whole valuation story because productivity growth is expected to support much of this AI hype for 2026. Do you think Wall Street is concerned over this imminent threat to the market, or is this something that we're going to look past?
Well, I think everyone's always concerned about what might happen, but the reality has been these are tech stocks that have been doing double digits. They've been doing double-digit gains. We're seeing productivity increases everywhere across the board, especially with AI, and we're hoping for interest rates to come on down, which means mortgage rates will come down. And back to your point on a portable mortgage, I mean, hopefully those things come into place in terms of affordability. But the bigger outlook is the fact that productivity is going up while immigration is coming down, and that's actually going to be a big driver for growth in the U.S. So watching the job numbers may not be the right answer. The question is how much productivity you're going to be able to get. We're seeing companies that are 10-person companies that are able to do 10 million in ARR. And so you're starting to see these tiny teams create exponential gains using AI. So both things are going to happen, some of the job losses, but at the same time, there's a lot of potential with AI for productivity.
Yeah, productivity. And I think, too, I look ahead to small businesses, and I think that's where, Ray, you're going to see a real boost. I mean, that's half of the jobs in this nation. Now, you say 2025 was the year of two tech stock categories. What were they, and do you think we're going to see similar groupings for this year?
Well, we looked at the Mag 7, and then you looked at 7 other stocks that are beyond that. And what you had to say was, who are the AI winners that are going to emerge? And then you looked at the valuations. And what we realized is, if you weren't above 21% growth for the NASDAQ, you were lagging behind. And some of those stocks, if you looked at C3, you looked at ServiceNow, you looked at Oracle, and in these stocks, what they're doing is they were performing less than the NASDAQ. And basically, they were being handicapped in the market, either for investment or for changes. But coming into 2026, those are the stocks that are undervalued going into the AI trade. Especially C3 has a brand new CEO in place. If you look at what's going on at Oracle, they've been punished for the market not understanding how neoclouds are going to work in the long run, and what you're going to see is a growth there, especially given their strength in terms of a cost structure and probably having one of the most modern cloud architectures. So things like that are happening in the marketplace.
I'm not so sure I would be betting against Larry Ellison. That's never been a good trade for me. But let's talk about 5 stocks that outperformed the NASDAQ last year with room to run this year. You've got Alphabet, AMD, Intel, Palantir, and of course, NVIDIA. Talk about that group.
Well, on the NVIDIA side, you're starting to see the demand from China. That's sitting at about $10 to $40 billion of demand. It could be $40 billion for the year extra in terms of revenue, and $10 billion a quarter. And I think that's what the street was hoping for. You're also seeing that deal that they did with Grok that we talked about last week. And that's really because they're moving into the world of TPUs. And that's a really smart deal. So if you think NVIDIA's out, the answer is no. We've got a way to go. We've got sovereign AI. We've got physical AI. A great one on that list as well, if you think about Apple, we're in the middle of a refresh cycle. And if you think about the refresh cycle, what's going to happen is maybe a new phone gets introduced, the services business continues, you're going to see growth there as well. And then, of course, Google is one of the top stocks in the space because what you're seeing is their ability to go from chip all the way to agents gives them advantage for vertical integration. And, of course, they've been able to catch up and succeed in terms of beating Microsoft and competing head-on with OpenAI in terms of their capabilities. And so we're seeing a lot of movement in the space. And, of course, it's a winner-takes-all market like it's been in the digital space. It's going to be the same with the AI space going forward.
Yeah, no, and I've always said there's going to be winners and losers, Ray. 5 stocks that underperform the NASDAQ at this point you're saying are going to beat this year. You mentioned C3. I want to bring that one back up again. But ServiceNow, and then you mentioned Apple, and then Meta, Oracle. Any other last points you want to make on these guys?
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about ServiceNow. That's a stock that's Working on the Rule 50, the recent acquisition of Armis is also another high growth stock. So what's happening is they're being put in the category of SaaS companies that may be left out of the AI race, but the reality is they're growing at the Rule 50, and they've got an AI platform going forward that has agents that allows them to continuously build out that growth factor that sits on top of other applications. So that's one definitely not to underlook. Meta, the other piece is they're one of the most efficiently run companies in the Valley. Their movement towards AI and their recent purchase as well of Manus, it gives them an advantage in terms of going to compete with OpenAI and Gemini on the Google side. So you're going to have to watch that very carefully as well as they shift out of Meta and move Metaverse and move more towards the AI face.
I'll tell you what, Ray, I love having you on the programs here on Fox Business. You're always a ray of sunshine. And Ray, my resolution, I didn't make any, is to not mispronounce your name in 2026.
No problem. Hey, Happy New Year. So,
Ray, Happy New Year. It's always great to have you on.